Hello, my name is Esmeralda S, and during this presentation, I'll be summarizing and analyzing the report from the 21st Century Commission on the Future of Community Colleges, titled Reclaiming the American Dream: Community Colleges and the Nation's Future. 5 years ago, the American Association of Community Colleges embarked on a 21st century initiative. This two-phase initiative had the overall goal of providing an additional 5 million students with a degree or certificate by the year 2020. Phase 1 was twofold: to research community colleges across the nation and investigate their performance measures and student success initiative, and also to find out what the American Association of Community Colleges can best support colleges across the nation. Phase 2 was the creation of the 21st Century Commission. This commission was tasked with utilizing their creativity and vision to create a new community college model, while still being true to the original community college mission of open access and education for all. This report, Reclaiming the American Dream: Community Colleges and the Nation's Future, is the outcome of that commission. But why would the commission have the need to create a new vision for all community colleges? Why wouldn't community colleges continue to do their work of providing access to all, creating initiative, and providing students with credentials at the same completion rate that what they're doing now? Because the reality is that community colleges are facing now completion rates that are extremely low, job preparation skills which are inadequate, and the educational path from K through 12 to community colleges to four-year institution are just not aligned. In the past, our nation used to be a leader of the world in education, but now the United States ranks number 16 in the world, and many other countries do a better job at preparing their future generation than what we do. Globalization is forcing community colleges to re-examine the way their education is designed. The world is changing rapidly, and with it, so should our education. The Commission reports that in just 2 years, 75% of jobs in our nation will require applicants to have a credential beyond high school, and that 15 to 20 million employees are expected to be retiring in the next 10 years. Yet, community colleges are currently not doing their part in ensuring the needs of the community. One of its pillar missions are being met. Community colleges stand now at a crossroad, and it's up to them to decide if they will take on the challenge of seizing the moment and make history again. In the 1940s, our country found itself at a similar crossroads. The 1947 Truman Report eloquently portrayed how the country was facing a time where thousands of veterans were returning home and will be seeking educational opportunities. They also found how there was a broad discrepancy in access to education. Quality education back then was mostly easily accessible by those with ample financial means and only if they were part of the racial majority. The Truman Report catapulted the open access mission of the community colleges, and as community colleges started to appear in many communities, so did the easy access to education, regardless of color, race, religion, and financial means. Bailey et al., in its book Redesigning the American Community College, also talked to us about the urgency of changing the way community colleges currently operate. The Reclaiming the American Dream report mirrors the author's voice and message as it reminds us of the challenges community colleges are currently facing and the need to change. To address this newfound challenge, the Commission proposed the following framework in the report. Through this framework, the Commission proposes a complete paradigm shift in the way community colleges conduct business. They propose that community college, first and foremost, should shift their focus from increasing enrollment and open access to increasing success of those enrolled. In other words, the focus should be increasing completion of credentials. Community colleges have done a fantastic job at providing open access to everyone, and it has been operating under the same framework and mission for the past 66 years. Even though The world has become smaller, the economy has become more challenging, and technology has grown rapidly. The focus on student success instead of student access instead of success has remained exactly the same. Community colleges need to evaluate their individual course offering in addition to the open access and student success focus, and they need to focus more in clearly mapping out programs in a coherent and a structured sequence for a student to be able to see the connection among courses and a clear path to graduation. Also, low success rate is perhaps the most telling of the statistics because we can see numerically how less than 40% of students obtain a credential even after being in the institution for 6 years. Community colleges have become comfortable with gaps in achievement, where they should always be striving for closing that gap. In addition, institutional research and effectiveness divisions within community college should become front and center so that data can now lead the way to help inform colleges of strategies to lead and what to focus on. The focus, in addition, should be turned to a student focused approach as opposed to how it used to be in the past, a faculty focused approach. In the past or currently, both faculty and students operate in a silo. But we want to increase, instead of this isolation, collaboration between the two and among all the divisions. It is important, as we mentioned before, that we use data to inform implementation of strategies as opposed to implementing small initiatives every year, that we focus on the ones that really are moving the needle on success and scale those initiatives. And for so many decades, the focus has been on enhancing teaching methods, whereas now institutions recognize that they should also monitor more closely the learning that is taking place in the classroom. Or as Bailey et al. State, community college should move away from transferring knowledge to increasing learning. Also, the use of information should not just be to maintain the status quo, but information gathered should be analyzed and used as means to improve and change. And last but certainly not least, it is common for community college to allocate their funding internally based on an enrollment data. Yet the report proposes that funding should be based not just on enrollment, but on performance and student success. Some states have already been witnessing this shift. For example, in Florida, community colleges funding are now under the performance-based funding initiative, where funding is distributed based on the college's ranking within the following parameters: retention, completion, job placement, and entry-level wages. Now, these frameworks, although very helpful, are still just broad general guidelines to increase student success and bringing community colleges to the 21st century. So, how can an institution go from an abstract framework to reality? Well, the companion guide to this report, titled Empowering Community College to Build a Nation's Future, comes into play. In that report, companion report, there is a list of 7 main specific recommendations that community college should do immediately to increase success rate among students. The first implementation says to increase completion rate by 50% by the year 2020. Community colleges can go about achieving that goal by publicly committing to a specific goal, not just within their institution, but also at a state level. Of course, the creation of pathway is going to also help with that, with increasing completion rate by 50%. Colleges are making connection with students before they even enroll, guide them through the entry process, provide ample support to allow the student to stay and progress within the pathway, and give them all the tools necessary to make them a successful student and successfully complete their credential. There is already data supporting the evidence of the success of the pathway, for example, within the CUNY system and their ASAP program and the Gutman Community College FYE Learning Community first year experience. The second initiative calls to dramatically improve college readiness. A few ways that colleges can go about achieving this goal is through increasing the collaboration within the K through 12 system for the purpose of aligning efforts and ensuring students come to community colleges prepared. The third recommendation is closing the American skills gap. Community colleges can do a better job at assessing the students' interests and skills and aligning them better with current market trends. The fourth recommendation proposes that the community college refocus their mission and redefine their institutional roles. For example, colleges can serve as a middle person in referring students to alternative providers in addition to students going on their own to seek this opportunity. There's room for improvement in the areas of advising, learning assessment, and students are often confused about what credentials to take and which degree to complete. Refocusing this mission and institutional role will certainly help with that. Initiative number 5 says that a community college should invest in collaborative support. Ideally, under the new model community colleges, institutions will be able to track students from K through 12 to college, to transfer, to graduation, and even once they've joined the workforce. Recommendation number 6 tell us that we should target the public and private investments strategically, which means that leaders need to be very involved, not just in organizations at the local level, but in national associations. Number 7 recommends that colleges implement policies and practices that promote rigor and accountability. In order to achieve this recommendation, the report proposes that institutions should join the Voluntary Framework of Accountability, or VFA, which is the first national accountability system for colleges. In addition to these recommendations, there are other strategies that colleges should focus. In this case, we're referring to some key stakeholders within the institution. Leaders of the institution should be, in this transition phase, should be visionaries and provide guidance to the institution by investing in professional development practices and initiatives. They should also be accountable for student success, and that should be the measure in terms of the performance. That should be the measure in which they are assessed and evaluating. In addition, governing boards should also invest in professional development and join the national um, associations to be able to learn more about the needs of the institution and how to change them. It is imperative too, the report states that governing board embrace this new model in order to pursue the goal. Faculty collaboration and engagement and commitment in this new model is essential as well to move this initiative. An institution should still take in consideration not just what is happening on their institution at the local level, but also what is happening at the national level. Community colleges across the nation are embarking in this new path. But in order to stay the course and be successful, they should not forget the past and protect the core mission of community college of providing open and quality access to education for everyone. They should be honest with their present reality. That is, the community college want to meet the need of the 21st century, students and economy. It must change the way it operates. And be brave to envision the future, a future where student success rates are high, future generations are highly educated and contributing to society, and the nation is once again not only competitive but competent in the global economy. The future is within our grasp, and it's worth the risk because as educators, we owe it to the past generations that turned community colleges as a pillar of higher education. We owe it to the current generation who is clamoring for a valuable education, and we owe it to the future generation who will be responsible for leading our great nation to its next challenge.